So before I start the video about kaneki, I must be honest about one thing, is that I've been quite busy, so things that I promised, like content I promised I would do much, I haven't been able to because I've been quite busy, unfortunately. So my apologies if you were expecting a video in March, but I haven't been able to deliver that. My deepest apologies. It does suck that I wasn't able to. I didn't think I would be as busy as I was, but because I was, I just wasn't able to record that. And however, to make up for it, there will be another video coming out soon about Sonic X Shadow Generations. So expect that, and I hopefully there'll be another video as well. So yeah, I took but now. Yeah, that's basically just a disclaimer. My apologies for not being able to record. I just been way busier than I thought I would be. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the rest of the video, and yeah, see you next time. So kaneki has been out for a bit now, and he's already turned into a bit of a controversial killer, which is something that always seems to happen when new killers are released. So today I just want to talk about kaneki, like what issues I have with him, what I think is fine. But before we go into that, I do want to discuss one thing, and that is to the people who say that Tokyo Ghoul doesn't fit in DVD. Seriously, most of this boils down to I don't like this license. I just don't like playing against the killer. I just don't like the killer. So it doesn't belong in DVD, which is honestly just stupid. I'm sorry, but just grow up. Horror is not just horror. It's as expanded to more genre. It's not just man. It's not just man wearing mask and man have knife and just murder. That's not that's not just horror anymore. Horror is expanded to a lot of things. We have analog horror, zombie apocalypse types of ones. We have multiple versions of horror. And while Tokyo Ghoul isn't horror like Albert franchise, it has themes of horror. It's pretty dark, it's pretty gruesome, which is fine, I would say, for DVD, since yes, I don't understand this, and I just don't. Why are we complaining about this? Why does it matter exactly? It shouldn't matter, but because for some reason it does matter. Also, sorry to say, but just cause Tokyo Ghoul's an anime, it doesn't automatically mean that it doesn't belong. Obviously, it's just cause it's has an anime doesn't automatically mean that it doesn't belong. That's not how it works. It still belongs in DVD. Plus, guess what? The anime is an adaptation of the manga. So, because of this, why does it matter? The anime isn't the original version. The manga is the adaptation, or the anime is the adaptation of the manga. And if you actually read the manga, which I presume most people didn't, or don't do the slightest research when they say kaneki doesn't fit in DVD, you can actually see that it's not it's very dark and pretty gruesome. You tell me that you would for fighters, you would say that you would guarantee you would say to 5-year-olds that they should watch this or they should read it. You're telling me that. Also, I could use the logic of if it is an anime so it doesn't fit. Let's say that Halloween ever got an anime. Not saying it will, but let's say it got an anime adaptation. Doesn't mean that Halloween doesn't fit in DVD anymore because it got an anime. Do you not see how flawed that logic is? Just because something is an anime doesn't automatically mean that it doesn't fit in the game. Because you don't have to be in a horror movie to be in Dead by Daylight. You can also have video games. You can have a book. Heck, even It, which I know, which It was originally a book. Before, It was originally a book before it got to the big screens. So horror doesn't have to stick to just horror games. Horror movies. It could be to anything else. Heck, even there's a Chucky series So like, you could even be a TV show if you wanted to. Like, horror doesn't have to just be those. So yeah, I thought I'd get that out of the way before we discuss kaneki himself, because honestly, it's starting to get to the point that's starting to irritate me. Because like, it all just basically boils down to is, I don't like this killer, so he doesn't belong in the game. Like, this is all it just boils down to.
Sorry?
Oh no, I'm just recording. Sorry, that was just I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that was just my mum. Got confused. Right, but anyway, so let's talk about kaneki himself. So what do I think of kaneki? I haven't played as him yet because I don't have him, but I have played as him as Survivor and seen footage of him as when people playing as him, and he seems fine for the most part. Obviously, he's not perfect. He still does have issues that need to be toned down, but like, yeah, but both for the most part, he's fine. I would say, like, he's fine for the most part. I would say. So, but like, what his issues? Well, let's talk about the positives first. First, his map mobility. I don't think there's any issues with his map mobility. I think it's fine because yes, he's the fastest killer in the game. But like, you could say that. But like, Nurse's map mobility is better in a lot of other situations because, oh yes, kaneki can travel across like maps much easier. Like if it was like ground floor, he does struggle with more vertical maps like 2-story maps, and plus you have to rely on the environment, which the environment can be very RNG. So yeah, it's not so like the Nurse's blinks are not as dependent on that. So I think the map mobility is fine. Plus, I don't like, how could you change it without making it feel clunky? Maybe you can make it that so like the second leap is shorter than the first, but like I think it's fine. Like, this is not the issue of kaneki. Also, his sound design is great. Now, obviously, it could be a bit annoying sometimes because, like, when you're playing, you just see the but like that just But like, the voice actor did a good job. Like, I think his sound designs are fine, and most of his animations are great. Like, I have no issues with the animations. Like, they're fine. You know, there's only like one animation I have a problem with, which I will discuss with the problems I have with kaneki. So yeah, and also like his skins are just fantastic. I think kaneki's just pretty much, he does well in these areas, and like, he's a strong killer. Like, he's top 5, I would say. I don't know if he's S tier. I think it depends on who you also think is S tier. Like, because he's like a top 5, I would say. Like, the top 5 I would say is Nurse, Blight, Dracula, Spirit, then kaneki. So do you put all 5 of them in S tier? Or like, do you put 4, do you put like so on? Like, so it just depends if you think these other killers are S tier, and because of that, yeah. Anyway, that is the positives. Let's talk about the negatives of kaneki, which are the reasons why he has been more controversial. First of all, his hitboxes. They need to be toned down, because there are some times where like you get hit, but like you shouldn't have got hit. Like, I don't know why this happens. But like, it does for some reason. But actually, I do know why it happens, because there's a bit of a... Because how kaneki's loops work is that Kai has like an auto aim feature, basically. Like, so you know that mouth icon when kaneki's about to hit you with like his power, basically. It like, basically what the powers are trying to do is like, anytime like you aren't able to anytime you aren't able to collide with the environment, what happens is the last known place you were able to go to, you would go to that, just in case like you tried to like swing there. So this happens with the hit from kaneki. That's how it works. That's how it works. Because with them with the hit, so let's say that you are on the right and kaneki is also on the right. Let's say that you move to the left. That mouth will, from the kaneki, or the mouth icon, will still be counted to the right. But because it's still counted to the right, that's why it counts as a hit, basically. Because even if you move to the left, that's like, you still get hit by it. So that's why it works. I can understand why it happens, but it should, like, I should hopefully be fixed. Always I can understand why it happens, because, like, for console players, obviously. But, like, it definitely does need to be toned down. And just tone this down, and that's perfectly fine. So now for the deep wound. Now, the deep wound, it's very weird to talk about, because as I haven't really heard much people talk about the deep wound from kaneki, aside from the fact that it makes their perks useless. Like, what I mean is that, like lots of ice have been run recently. They've been running more endurance perks, like Dead Hard, there's Off the Record and all that, and because of it, it has countered, the kaneki has been able to counter perks, and people have been complaining about this, which honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what I think of that, because on the one hand, I can understand that it's frustrating just have your perks just being countered, or just being turned up because of part of the power, but like, I don't know why, but like, what's the best way to say this? Like, sometimes it just seems like you just cannot adapt, like, without those perks, because, like, a lot of times when the perks are disabled, a lot of survivors just lose chase instantly, because they too rely on those perks to get away from chases, that when they use those perks, they just don't do as well in chase. That is the reason why it happens, I would say, and I think that that's a bit silly to complain about, because just like, there are killers who could just counter pretty much a lot of perks, like Plague counters healing perks. Also Legion, Pyramid Head counters anti-hook and anti-slugging perks. Blight can counter exhaustion perks because of how fast he is. Like, it's just that kaneki was in an area where, like, basically like a metro where endurance perks are becoming more popular. That's what it is, to be honest. So I don't really know about the deep wound, because aside from that, like, I haven't really heard any other complaints. Because the deep wound was adjusted so to feel more nicer. So, like, I don't know about the deep wound, like, because that's the only thing that I've heard people complain about. Like, I haven't really heard anyone complain about anything else to do with it. So that's my, so, like, I don't know if it's really an issue. I'm just talking about, like, what people complain about, basically, like, what the issues with kaneki is. But I don't know if this is an issue or not. Like, maybe it is, I don't know. I don't know, because, like, not many people have discussed it. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who knows? Because, like, yeah. So, yeah, like, yeah, but, yeah, so that's just what I think with the deep, because I don't really know what to really think about it. Plus, it's also the fact that, like I said, like, there are multiple players who can just counter perks, multiple perks. This isn't exactly new. But I won't say this is unhealthy. This is not like, old Skull Motion when she was released with, the eruption meta, because those perks, like, she made them, like, she was able to make them work very well. Not obviously, like, what we're talking about, like, counter and survival perks, but like, this isn't like, unless it's unhealthy, this isn't usually unhealthy. The reason why it's kind of different for Skull Motion is because, well, yes, like, because of, like, power, she could basically, like, shut down gen perks, which would be seen as positive, but, like, she amplified gen regression packs. So yeah, like, it did do that. So that was unhealthy, because, yeah, it was just unhealthy, but, like, I don't see if this is unhealthy or not. Maybe it might change in the future. Maybe, I don't know. But I think right now the deep wound is something that I don't see right now why it's bad. Like, if someone why they don't like it. If someone could explain to me why do you think the deep wound is bad, like, that should be on kaneki, then that'll be fine. But, like, until then, I think the deep wound's fine for now, but, like, obviously I could change. I just don't really know much about if it's a good or not. The next thing is the hindered. For some reason, when you get hit by the by kaneki's power, basically, you get hindered for some reason. This could be useful on when you're vaulting, when kaneki's vaulting, but for some reason, like, I don't know why he's there. But like, cause like if he hits you with his tentacle, it just slows you down. This shouldn't be like, he shouldn't have this hindered. Like he shouldn't. You can pause for a moment. That's, I would say, fine, since yeah. But like slowing you down, like there's no reason it should slow. Like there's no reason it should like give you the hindered. So remove that hindered, and I think that'll be fine. Yeah, just remove the hindered, and I think that like that won't be as bad. So yeah. Next is the vaulting, and I think now the vaulting when it's not in range is fine. I would say, because it's slow and a bit slow, and when you vault it slow down a bit. But like. But in range it can be it's much faster, to the point I could just immediately like, yeah, like, they should decrease that, like decrease like the speed he gets while like Baltimore in range, because like that just gets to a point that like it just creates a lot of uncomfortable situations. Now there are times where even with this I was able to avoid getting hit, but like those were in some circumstances because I got either a bit lucky with like pallet spawns, like window spawns, or like the killer made a big goofy mistake. So yeah, remove like don't remove. I mean, like adjust it, like turn it down a bit so it's not as much. Like obviously, I think I don't actually know. Like I wouldn't mind if this doesn't get changed as long as like the tentacle, or like the what is it called, a tentacle? I don't know if it's called a tentacle or not, or like it's things. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called. I'll just say it's tentacles. Like, if his tentacles are more difficult to hit, then maybe I'll feel more rewarding. But if they wanted, like, I'll be fine with that. Always a newbie test to just make sure. But like, if they adjust that, and then maybe I could see the range being fine. Maybe we'll just have to see. Now, I think now another issue with kaneki is one of his animations, which when you get hit by his tentacle, like by his power basically, when you're healthy, it feels unpolished. Like it feels like sometimes it doesn't feel like it hits you, and you just stand still awkwardly, and just feels very clunky and slow. That is what I think the issue is, I would say, because like the animation just doesn't feel smooth. Because so there are hits that you don't feel like hit you but do. That might just be because the animation's a bit off. And then when you like stand still, it feels more awkward, I would say, because like yes, you can immediately run afterwards, but like it does feel clunky. So I hope they can improve that. To improve that, and then I think kaneki's fine. Honestly, like after those changes, like kaneki's fine. So yeah, but now I want to talk about two sides, because there have been two sides of people saying, oh, kaneki's fine, doesn't need any nerfs, or toning down, or kaneki's OP, doesn't have any counterplay. Which it's not like, I disagree with both sides. So let's talk about people who think that kaneki's OP and has no counterplay. You are objectively wrong. Kaneki does have counterplay, he is not OP. Because if he had no counterplay, he would be considered the best killer in the game. Because Nurse, while doesn't have the most counterplay, does have some counterplay. So like, you're basically saying that kaneki's better than Nurse, which he is definitely not, because you can't have a killer who has no counterplay at all, like not be the best killer in the game when the best killer in the game has some counterplay. Always not the best, but like so has some counterplay. You can't say that, because kaneki does have counterplay, and the people who say that he doesn't are wrong, because it just seems like an overreaction. Plus kaneki has been out not that long, so this just feels like an overreaction, saying that oh, yes, I'm the counterplay, oh, he's OP. Like he's not. Sure, he's the top 5 killer, and just to be toned down in some areas, but like he's like, you can't say that he's OP or that he's has no counterplay. Like you cannot say that. That is just objectively wrong. No killer, like there are no killer who doesn't have any counterplay. Heck, even the ones who have more, like doesn't have much counterplay as other killers, they still have counterplay. Like you can't say that any killer doesn't have counterplay at all. That is just wrong. Because like I said, that otherwise he'll be the best killer in the game. But he's not. He's like top 5. So, but now let's talk about the side who say that he's fine and doesn't need any nurse. These people are wrong. Kaneki does need to be toned down. He does. He's not perfectly fine. He's fine for the most part, but he does need to be toned down in some areas to make him feel a bit more fair for the survivors and make him feel a bit more fun. Because while I enjoy facing him, I can understand why there are people who just don't enjoy facing him. Because there are times where he does feel a bit bad to play against. So saying he's just fine and have no issues is just lying. Because you're basically saying that I don't want the killer to be nerfed because I just don't want my killer to be. I just don't want this killer to be nerfed. I don't know they have issues. Like, you're basically ignoring that, which is unhealthy for game balance. Sure, if they nerf the killer horribly, then yes, it's a bad thing. Like what they did to Squamish and Chucky and old Freddy. Like remember the first Freddy got, and after that he got like gutted. Those are bad nerfs, and so like I can understand if you're scared that you might get gutted. But like saying he doesn't need any nerfs at all is just lying. Like actually, because like now to the people now obviously other people would say, but they'll create more blights and nurses. No. If they got it, then yes, you can maybe have a point with that. But like if they're just adjusting the killer, then like I don't see the issue with this. Like I just hate this argument because it's like it's not only we have been complaining about Nurse and Blight for years, but like just but also it's just like that doesn't mean colours below them shouldn't be adjusted some areas, because we shouldn't be creating bottlenecking. The issue with older DBD and like DBD right now basically is the bottlenecking between high tier killers and low tier killers. There is a significantly large power gap between someone like Nurse and Trapper. That shouldn't be the case. Obviously there are going to be characters who are stronger than other characters. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be. What I am saying is that it shouldn't be this large of a power gap. It's like the weakest a killer should be is mid B, and the strongest a killer should be is mid to low to mid A tier. That is the strongest and weakest a killer should be. Not C. We shouldn't have any C. We shouldn't have any D tiers. We shouldn't have any S tiers. Like we shouldn't have any of that. B or A tier killers. You can make an argument for maybe high A, but I would say the strongest a killer should be is either mid A. Like mid A. Like I would say. So yeah. Also, I have encountered someone who did use this argument, and funnily enough, one of the videos was holding survivors hostage. Yeah, you could immediately tell how biased he is, because yeah, like if you go to do that, like your opinion is immediately invalid. Like I'm sorry, but like you can't say that Kaneki's fine. It's like is someone complaining a bit over the top in some areas? Yes. But like, you can't just say that, ooh, he's fine and it's his own. When you have a video like this, it just shows that you're more biased in a way that like you just refuse to acknowledge that a killer needs to be adjusted. I understand that Nurse and Blight need to be nerfed because they are way too powerful. But this doesn't mean that there should be killers who are there shouldn't be killers who are below them that shouldn't be adjusted. That's not how it works. Sorry, but that is the case. That's not how games work. That's not how balance works. Sorry, but that is the truth, and I am tired of people pretending it's not, because it's starting to get to a point that is just irritating. Like, can we stop acting like toddlers, please? It doesn't take 2 brain cells to realize that, yes, maybe I'm acting like a big toddler over this. Because it's starting to get to the point that, like, I can't take any, like, I'm in the middle ground with Kaneki. Like, I don't think it should be, like, I don't think he's overpowered as no kind of it, but, like, he doesn't need to be toned down in some areas, and it's now getting to the point that, like, I wish that we could just have a civil argument without just getting called biased towards one side, because, like, yes, I said that this person's biased, but for good reason, because, like, but it was for good reason. That's the reason why I said this person was biased, because if you're gonna hold survivors hostage for an hour, and then complain that, oh, stop complaining about Kaneki, he has no issues whatsoever, then yes, I could call you biased. For, like, there are multiple times where it's like, you're a survivor, entitled survivor may know you're entitled killer, man. It's not get to the point that I'm going to lose it. Because, like, these aren't just most of these people aren't even teenagers or like young kids. They are full-grown adults who act like this. Just tell me. Like, tell me in what way this is acceptable behavior to behave in. And because of this, like, it's getting to the point now, it's just like, I can understand why people think DBD is the most toxic community, because they're the most outspoken one and probably the most popular one when we talk about toxicity. So, yeah, anyway, those are what I think about it. Kaneki doesn't need to be toned down, but I am so tired of people who say that he's fine with and doesn't need any nurse when he does need to be toned down, and the people who say he's not can't play OP. Just please stop, because we just have a civil argument. So anyway, bye bye.